Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Asa, and I have a really good project for you today. Purely hypothetically, maybe it's the holidays coming up, and you don't really have a gift yet, and there's only a couple of days left. I like to build my wife something for Christmas, and this year is no different. So I'm gonna build an outdoor owl house. We live near some woods, and we can hear barred owls in the evenings. I haven't been able to see one yet. Their camouflage is extremely good, so I thought it would be really fun to build an owl house. Hopefully we'll get some barred owls to build a nest in there, and if we're really lucky, we'll see some young. You're going to want to stick around until the end of the video for two reasons. First, I've got some sweet montages, and second, you'll figure out how I used a wood chipper to build an owl house. I found the instructions for this build online, a website called 70birds.com. I'll include some of the information in the description below. Originally, I planned to use these pine boards that are left over from a previous home project. These are simple pine boards that had a little bit of warp to them, or maybe too many knots, so I didn't end up using them for the previous project. Untreated pine should be fine for owls. I ended up deciding to go with untreated cedar instead. Cedar should last a little longer, and if I'm going to put a bunch of effort into a project, I really want it to last as long as possible. So last weekend, I prepped for this video by going to the home store and buying some cedar. Now, some details on the project. Today is Wednesday. I have 2 nights before my wife and I drive out of state to a wedding. Then I'm back for a few hours before flying internationally. So I really only have 2 nights to complete this build. And this isn't a bit or an exaggeration. I literally have to finish this tonight and tomorrow night around my pretty crazy work schedule. I think I can do it, but it is pretty aggressive. So if you're watching this video, hopefully this means I was successful. This is also a pretty good beginner project. I think you could do this if you have simple tools available to you and at least a power drill and a jigsaw. So if you've never done any woodworking, I really encourage you to check something like this out. It should only use simple tools, like a hammer, a saw, you'll need some nails, wood glue, some basic wood, and like I said, a drill and a jigsaw. I'm going to use some of the bigger equipment available to me, but don't let that scare you off. Really, I think as long as you had time, this is completely achievable for a total novice. I'm going to rush through this a little bit. You'll see me cut some corners, although never with safety, but I need to complete this in about 4 or 5 hours of working time. In summary, I've got 2 nights to build and a third to edit before I'm out of the country, and then it's the holiday season. The timeline is real. I did cheat a little bit. Last weekend, I went to the home store to get the cedar planks, which you'll see in a moment. First step is to return this pine, go get the cedar out of my shed, and cut it down to size. After I cut it down, I'm going to glue some of the cedar boards together to make wider 1-foot boards for part of the build and 13.5-inch boards for the rest of it. Okay, that was more than enough talking. Sorry for the lengthy intro. Let's get to making. Well, that was super cold, but I'm finished doing all of my rough cuts. I only made a few mistakes. They're going to be totally manageable. Unfortunately, I don't have enough clamps to simply clamp the boards together and glue down the center. I should have bought about 100 more of these when I had the chance. Instead, what I'll do is cut apart strips of cedar, glue those down, nail them in place, and use that to let the boards set. I'm finally finished cutting all of my material. Well, sort of. I have 2 more boards to finish, but at this point, it's just too late. It's about 11:30. I need to be up in 6 hours. My radial arm saw is in my shed. It's close to my neighbor's house. It's making too much noise. I'm just gonna have to finish the 2 more boards tomorrow. It's also too loud to keep using my power tools here in my shop. That's why you saw me using my handsaw to finish some of these bracing pieces. Next, I'm gonna nail and glue my boards together. These are galvanized finishing nails. I've got about 150 of them. It should be just enough to finish the whole project. They're a little on the dainty side, but it's enough to hold the boards in place while the glue is setting. Nope, That's too loud. I'll do it in the morning instead before work, let it set throughout the day, and then finish up afterward. Alright, that's gonna have to do for tonight. I'll pick it up tomorrow morning. So, I forgot to turn the mic on earlier, but it's the next day. You can tell I'm a little disheveled. It's super early. The first glued board came out really well. It's definitely strong enough for some owls. So I'm going to clamp and glue a second set, then I'm going to glue and nail the rest, let them set throughout the day. Then finally I'm going to assemble tonight and be ready in time for the holidays. That's all I've got time for this morning. I should be able to finish tonight. I'll cut 2 more boards, I'll glue, and then all I've got left is assembly. We're making progress. During my lunch hour, I managed to run outside to my shed. I cut my last boards. I hope most of this is now glued, so I'll finish assembling and gluing the last panel, and then it's on to cutting a hole for the entry, and then assembling the entire bird enclosure. Alright, I have literally 19 seconds to spare. Time to hop on my conference call. I'll finish it up tonight. All of the glue is set. I think we're ready to just cut the entrance and assemble it. So here you can see I made one little snafu. I put the supporting pieces on the outside of one of the side panels instead of the inside. It's going to be okay. We're just going to rip those off, re-glue, reset on the inside, and still assemble. I can't find my crowbar to pry these pieces off, so a screwdriver is going to have to do. I'm actually really impressed. This board is still stuck together. I haven't really let the glue set for all that long. I'm sure it would break apart if I put any force on it, but hey, better than I expected. Let's re-glue. Now we're where I thought we were about 10 minutes ago, so we're going to do a quick assembly fit check. I'm going to use that to cut down some of the boards for a better overall fit, then we'll cut the entrance hole, then we'll assemble everything and let it set overnight. Overall, I'm really pleased. I'm going to do a couple of small cuts on the radial arm saw for a better fit. I'm going to cut the entrance hole, then we nail and glue for assembly, and finally attach the roof using a hinge so we can open and clean it out over time. It's way too cold outside. I really need to get a dust collection system for my table saw and for my miter saw, which goes in the space here in my workbench. I'd use my tools in my shop a lot more often instead of relying on the shed so much if I had better dust collection system. That's probably one of my next videos, is getting one, testing it, building it, reviewing it. So let me know in the comments if you have any recommendations for dust collection systems. One last thing I'll do based on the instructions is put some little chamfers on the bottom piece and the top pieces for airflow. This is looking great. Time to cut the entrance, and then it's on to assembly. I think I'm going to be able to finish tonight. Assembly went really well, time to attach the lid, and I think I'm done. I'll drill pilot holes before putting in screws with my impact driver, attach the roof using hinges, and then that's it. After this, it's just wrapping, giving it, and mounting it outside. And that's it. Total build time, maybe 4 hours, maybe 5 if you count going to the home store. I'm really pleased with this. It came out great, and like I said, I love making my wife things for Christmas, so I was really glad I could fit one in this year. Overall, I'm really pleased with how it came out. I'm certainly not going to win any woodworking awards, but the owls shouldn't care. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos about building, making, creating, 3D printing, anything in between. I'm Asa. Thanks again. Oh, and I almost forgot. After Christmas, I'll be sure to post some footage of me up a 30-foot ladder mounting this to a tree. You'll need some wood chips for the owl house for nesting, and I can make my own, so stick around and check that out. I bought a wood chipper off Facebook Marketplace last year to clear out some parts of my property, and I love this thing. I always knew I liked cars and movies and building. I had no idea how much I would love a wood chipper. It is deeply cathartic.